What? Oh. Gotta move this closer. I keep forgetting to do that. Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to episode 2, part 2 of episode 2 of How to Get Good at Titanfall. We are going to be picking up where we last left off with Kid Heinz. Hopefully you all enjoy. We do get into discussion about a bunch of really, really good stuff. Bunch of really juicy stuff I bet you'll all enjoy. I know I personally had loads of fun recording this, so yeah, let's get right into this.
Hope we don't match any sweaty people while we're playing.
Oh, we're going up against my clan. MK, there he is. MK. Alrighty. So, last game, I was using the Mozambique, but now this game, I am using the good old car SMGs. So tell me, what are your opinions on the car SMG and how it stacks up against all the other guns? Because obviously it's not the best gun.
The car SMG... No, it's not the best gun in the game, but it is definitely best in slot. By far the best SMG.
Yep, without a doubt.
For a lot of reasons. The car is extremely accurate at close to medium range, and you know if you put your time into it, it's going to be pretty decent at long range too. It has very forgiving hip fire. It has a really large magazine for how much damage the bullets do.
Oh, I got that.
And one other thing. Wait, what was I gonna say about it? Oh, it looks beautiful too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The car is, and it's more of your typical Call of Duty gun. It's a very reliable gun for an SMG, and I mean, it's just shy of being as effective as assault rifles are, because of, you know, aim assist stats are lower on SMGs, and you know, just the way that the way the SMGs are designed, they're not meant to have as much range, and so they fall a little bit short. But as far as the car goes, it's as close to an AR as you can get, at making it by far the most effective in its class. And it sounds really fun when you shoot it.
and its hip fire is sly as fuck. Absolutely.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the car is my #1 gun. Well, it's not my favorite gun, but it's my highest. It's the gun that I have the highest stats on.
Absolutely.
And hip fire especially. God, I wish I could track hip fire, dude, because this gun has served me so well as far as hip fire goes.
And now, but
I mean, after you fire the first 3 bullets out of the magazine, it pretty much becomes a straight laser beam, and as long as you put your time and effort into learning the recoil pattern, this gun is really hard to miss with, as I miss all my shots.
Yes. Now, oh, did you? Yeah, you just got massive rip. But people.
Yeah, I just got slapped in the face by the best shotgun in the game.
Now, the thing is about the car SMG, I wouldn't necessarily call it the most accurate gun. I find that the Volt might actually be a tad bit more accurate than it. Do you think so?
Here's the thing. I agree with you. As somebody who's played with the Volt a ton, I agree with you. But let's say somebody who just picked up the game, picked up the Volt versus the car. As far as accuracy goes, and the current state of the Volt, which is, you know, after so many undeserved nerfs, the Volt has a lot more view kick. Maybe the actual spread might be tighter on the Volt, you know.
Yeah.
But the Volt, you know, the actual view kick of the gun was specifically increased to make the gun less effective. The only reason I'm saying I'm going to side with the car is because, one, we're on console, and two, I have to consider every skill level here. And for the most part, if you're a beginner, you just picked up this game, the Volt is not going to be, by any means, not going to be your #1 choice as far as efficiency goes.
Oh, he's behind. All right. So now the car, it's a good gun, but would you recommend people use it all the time though to get good? Like, obviously, if you use the same gun over and over again, it's gonna get really repetitive, and you just start getting into a trough. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. I don't think the car is a gun you should start with. I don't think any SMG is a gun you should start with. If you're just starting out, or maybe you've had some time in the game and you're looking to really improve, I'd say the car is a really drastic choice, because it's not, I don't know, it takes a little bit of mastery, whereas assault rifles are very, very accommodating to a new player.
Yeah, I agree. The assault rifles, the assault rifles cater very much to the ADS mentality, which we already discussed a lot of newer players have. But its hipfire, it is nice enough to help introduce the concept to newer players. So I can see how the R201, R101 would be the choice for people looking to get better. Now the alternator. Well, every person I ask, people say the alternator is just broken, overpowered, just not fun to go up against. What do you? I just can't see it being overpowered, honestly.
No, I don't think the alternator is overpowered at all. I think the alternator is right where it should be. I think that excuse that it's overpowered is just people not understanding that the alternator, like a lot of things in this game, not just guns, is one of those parts of the game that there's a really high skill gap with that gun. There's a lot to learn with that gun, and I think, there are lots of people that do understand that and are taking advantage of that fact, and once you get to a certain point, then yeah, it kind of seems overpowered, but that's because they put the time and effort into learning how to use the gun in a way that makes it seem overpowered.
Yeah.
Same way that, I have put hundreds of hours into getting my movement as perfect as I can. There are some people that settled for just fast enough. Well, the alternator is the same way. There's the car, which can settle for it. It's a more consistent gun. It'll do you more justice with less work, but if you put the work into it, the alternator is definitely an amazing gun. And I mean, I'm just reiterating the point over and over, but no, it's not overpowered. It's just a very skill-based gun.
And people think it's overpowered because its reward is so amazing if you can get it to work, and then people just see that like, oh yeah, that must be overpowered. Right. And that's the thing.
I mean, it's definitely a risk-reward type gun.
People just look at a gun being powerful and they call it overpowered. They don't look at all the other things that go into it being overpowered. Like a gun being overpowered means like it's powerful, it gets lots of kills, but the gun does the work for you rather than, it being 50-50, you putting in the work and the gun putting in the work. That's like
right. I mean,
that's what it should be.
Just like the Spitfire, that is a gun that's overpowered.
It does all the work for you
because there are so many good qualities about it, and you don't have to do anything to take advantage of those qualities. The gun, it's just point and shoot. The gun does everything else.
Exactly. Like, what's the point? People just get mad at guns for having strengths, and like, what's the point of guns having strengths and weaknesses? That's one of the core mechanics of a first-person shooter. Guns having strengths and weaknesses. That's just where.
Exactly.
Now, all right. So on to this next point. So earlier on, you said how movement is the most important part of the game. So what now? Derived from movement is positioning. So positioning is obviously it's so important because in first-person shooters, whoever sees who first is probably going to be the person who gets the kill, right? So how?
Right.
Generally, obviously you can employ cover and all that fun stuff, but for the most part, whoever sees who first has the advantage. So how would you what would you recommend to players to be the first person to see the enemy player, to have that advantage? First person shooting.
Number one, high ground.
High ground, absolutely.
It's over, Anakin! I have the high ground!
You underestimate my power!
Don't try it.
Wow!
Preach this so often. High ground is just the biggest advantage you can give yourself in a fight. Now that doesn't mean, you know, just blindly pick a roof, get on it, and you win the game.
Yeah, obviously.
You know, there's information about the map that you're gonna have to know, and something awesome. Hold on, I'm executing. This is gonna be really loud.
Yep.
That execution is just so loud. Anyway, something interesting that this game has is in Pilots versus Pilots, the game actually tells you where the enemy team is spawning and where your team is spawning, what zone on the map.
Oh, yeah.
So what I recommend, going into Pilots versus Pilots, cycling through all the maps and just learning where those spawns are, because not only does it tell you where players are going to be, but it tells you where players aren't going to be. You know, it tells you which parts of the map you don't have to be paying attention to, and which parts of the map you do have to be paying attention to. Depending on where the spawn is, you're going to learn popular routes for people leaving their spawn and making rotations out. You're going to learn, you know, popular camping spots, but, you know, hot zones where people tend to travel through and stay. Just general familiarity with the map, you know, with every map, which routes are most common for pilots to take, and I mean, you get a sense of that just by putting hours into the game, you know.
Exactly.
But Pilots versus Pilots specifically is going to tell you exactly where the enemy team is spawning, where your team is spawning, and you know which parts of the map are dead, which parts of the map are hot. Those spawn zones, while they're only revealed in Pilots versus Pilots, those spawn zones translate into every other game mode.
Absolutely.
There's a couple of game modes that vary in where spawns are, but that's usually beginning of the match type stuff.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for our time here with Kid Heinz. I hope you guys all enjoyed these last two videos that I've uploaded. I've definitely enjoyed recording them, and believe it or not, there's still so much recording left, actually, that we did. But I'm just not going to include that because it's a whole... We go into how you can fight Titans as pilots and the key to doing that, but I'm just going to count that as a different episode overall rather than it be part 3 of episode 2. So yeah, that brings a conclusion to episode 2 of How to Be Good at Titanfall. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and yeah, let's set a goal. Why not? If this video gets 10 likes, why not? Again, if this video gets 10 likes, I will upload that recording of Kid Heinz and I talking about how pilots can fight Titans, how to get out of that rut where Titans are just dominating the battlefield, what you can do. But yeah, that's a video for another time. I'll see you guys later. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Peace.